Evening. How are you guys?
Good evening.
Good
Evening.
evening.
Great. Guys, and yesterday we were working a lot in the back end. Um, Maybe you have started the front end, I don't know that. But today I'm gonna give a lesson of how you can um, modify a person, and the idea is that we're going to learn how to put up the put operation and the delete operation in our backends. We're going to invoke them in our React project. Okay. So another message that I want to share with you is that um, there are two more videos here in the platform that you need to watch, and then you need to solve some questions here. And there is the service that is called S3. We're going to use this service, because we're going to deploy our front end in an SS3 bucket. So this is one part of having like an introduction of the service. Maybe we can do this operation on Friday, that we're going to create a distribution file of our React project, and then we're going to upload this into an S3 bucket. The idea is that in the next week, we're going to learn something that is called Route 53, and we're going to buy a domain. Um, you're going to learn what is a domain, and we're going to put a name to our website. For example, it's going to be like codex.com, for example. That's a domain. So we can set up that our bucket is going to be serving a React website and using as well um, a route. I mean, a domain with Route 53. Okay, that's the idea. That's the purpose of this week and the next one. So it's very important that you need to understand what is S3 first. So there are two videos about them. The idea is that you can learn what is, I mean, the part that is not the practical part, but you're going to get some knowledgement about AWS2 here too. So let's continue with the class, and let me open our project. Let me see. I think Codex pathway 4. So it is this one. Let me open it. Okay. Okay, so we learned it, guys, that in the previous class, it was on Monday, I think. Uh, this is the way that we can handle a form, right? We have this element that is a hook element, the user state, and we have created an object that is going to help us with handling the properties in our form. So let me deploy this. And this is how it looks. Okay, so um, we're going to learn something new. The idea is that we're going to create a button here that is going to help us to edit a record. So the idea is that if I click here a button that says edit, this is going to redirect us to another form, but at the same way, we're going to create a route. Remember, in our backends, we are creating routes, and routes is represented by the slash and then the name of the table, right? Do you remember this?
Yeah.
For example, the
Yeah.
table of users. I mean, this route is not existing in our project, so this is not rendering anything in this route, but we can set up routes in React too. So how we accomplish that? First, we need to stop the server, and we're going to install a new dependency, and this dependency is called React Router DOM. Okay, so once I install the dependency, If I go to the app.js that I have here, right now I'm just rendering this component, right? But I have the possibility or the capacity right now of creating routes. So I'm going to show you. First, I need to import 3 elements from that library. And the 3 elements are the next one. Browser router, routes, and route. Okay, so we're going to wrap the entire application in these 3 objects. Let me show you. We're going to create first the browser router tag here, and inside of the browser router, we're going to add routes. Now, for every route, we need to create a component too. Okay, so this is going to be the first route. I'm going to call this route the index route. I mean, I can use the the opening route and the closing route, but as well, this is possible too. So I'm going to put here the path, and this is the index path. For example, the principal path. Okay, and we can render something here. Let me show you. And what we're going to render, it's going to be the element, and the element is going to receive as a parameter, for example, this component. Okay, I have the component person here. So if I deploy this again, let me see. Oh, sorry. Okay, let me create another page. Let me show you. This is going to be called home. And I'm going to create another page that is going to be called, for example, edit form. Edit person. Okay, so I'm going to type the ref C. So I'm going to create the component here and for the home component too. So let's go to the app.js file, and in the path we're going to render the home component that I have here. So I need to import it. Okay, so I will be rendering, instead of rendering the person component in the home section, let me show you. You see, I have the word home. You see, do you notice this?
Yeah.
Guys, are you there? Okay, great. Let me see if I can put an H1 here. It's better. Or edit person too. H1 and H1. So as you see, I have the home section here. So if I want to create another route, for example, the person route, I can create here another route this way. This is the name of the route, person. And if you visit this route, you're going to render the person component. So if I put in here /person, I'm rendering the person form. You see it? So this is how we create routes in React. We need to set up every route this way. So we need to have a component for every route. A page component. I'm going to create another one that is going to be called edit person. But at the same time, it's going to receive a parameter. Remember, we learned it that we are passing parameters through the URL too, right? And this is going to be called the ID person. Now, this is going to render the edit person component. Okay, I'm going to show you how this is going to work. So let's return to the table of persons that I have here. So I'm going to create, for every element that I am rendering, I will create a button. So I will create a column here that is going to be called edit or action. So this is going to create button this way. Then we close the button tag. I'm gonna put the text edit. I'm going to assign a class here, btn primary. So as you see, I have a new button here. You see it?
Yep.
For every element. The idea is that if I click here, I want to redirect to the edit person form. So how can I set up that part? So we're going to create a function here. Handle redirection or handle edit. Okay, so this function is going to receive a parameter here, the ID of the person that we're going to modify. And we're going to call this, remember we use the React Router DOM library, right? And there is a component that is called navigate. So we're going to import it. I mean, this is a hook, it's a hook. Use navigate from React Router DOM. And this is the one that is going to help us with the navigation so we can jump around between the pages or the routes. So first we need to initialize this component or this hook here. And this is going to be equal as use navigate, initialize it. Now, this is returning a function. So if I want to navigate, we need to put here the path of the URL that we want to go. So in this case, it's going to be the edit person. And then I'm going to pass a parameter here. And this parameter is going to be this ID. So I'm going to create this kind of a string here. Okay, let me show it. Okay, great. Now, what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to define the onClick event. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to call the handle edit function. And I'm going to pass the parameter ID person. Like I'm going to grab it from here. I think this is possible. It is expecting a comma. Yeah, give me a second. It's not the correct way. So it has to be like this. It has to be an arrow function here that's going to invoke this function, handle edit. And I'm going to pass here the item ID. In this case, it's person ID. Okay, let's see how this is working. Okay, let me see if I can put it here. Let me format this. Okay, let's try it. Let's return to the person. Okay, if I click here, now I am navigating to the edit person route and I am passing the ID number 1. You see it? You see this ID, guys?
Yep.
Yeah. So we're going to do this for every element, okay? So if I try this with another element, as you see, I'm redirecting to another route, okay? In this route, I will create a form that is going to contain the form so I can edit the people or the person. I mean, in this case, the person, because it's a singular element that I want to modify here. So let's see. Once I have this, guys, I need to go to the components and I'm going to create an edit form person. Okay, let me create my function, my component here. And then I'm going to put some fragments. Okay, so here I'm going to put a title, edit person. And here I need to set up the same form that I have here. So maybe I can copy paste the entire form. No problem with that. Because there are the same properties that we want to modify, right? Let me format this. Okay, great. Now, let me show you what is going to happen. If I click edit here, oh, give me a second. Now, the edit person component is going to import the edit form. And this is the thing that we're going to render here. But let me add some fragments if we want to add more components, guys. Let's return. Oh, let's see if I click edit. Something is not working. Let me see. I think I'm receiving an email as the submit handler. Yeah. Give me a second. I will remove this part of the code. Let me show it again. Okay, there's another error. Handle name. Yeah. We need to have these events created for every element. I'm gonna recreate them. Okay, so let's return. So if I click here, edit, now I am receiving a new form with the ID number 1. You see it, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the idea here is that then we can modify the information of that person, right? So let's start creating the functions or the handlers for every modification that I have on the inputs. So let's remember how we created the form of person here. So as you see, every time that you want to type something inside of a controller, I mean, inside of an input, you need to have an unchanged event, and we need to have a handler that is going to manage the way that you're going to grab that information and save it inside of another object, right? So let's create this object first. Let me call this const. Oh, but it needs to be a use state hook here. So we need to import the use state. Great. Now, I'm going to create the object. The object is going to be called edit person or person edit. Set person edit. And this is going to be initialized as use state. And inside of this use state, we need to set up a body. I mean, but yeah, this is the body that we're going to send to our API. So we need to have the same properties that we are passing to our API. And I remember they are the same. So let me put this here. Okay, so right now the name, the birth date, and the gender, they are empty. But we're going to create the binding between the input name that we have here. This is the input name. It's going to be this one, right? So I remember that I told you guys that we can manage every modification for every input using a handler for every form, right? But there is another way that you can handle just with one function. So that function, guys, needs to have some other properties. So for every input, there is a property that is called a name. It's equivalent to the ID. You remember this in JavaScript vanilla that we can put an ID for every input or for every HTML element. So the name property is equivalent, but this is like giving like a name to the input, okay? Similar to an ID. So we're going to put a name to the input. In this case will be the name. In this case, it's the same. Now for this input, we're going to assign another name. And this one's going to be called, let's see, gender. And the other one is this one. And we're going to put a name to. And this one is going to be called as birth date. Now I'm going to show you something. I will create here the form handler function. So as you see, this function is going to achieve the same tree of functions that you have here, but instead of having 3 functions, we're just going to have 1 function. I will show you that. So here I'm going to receive the event, right? And but I'm going to show you something. I'm going to console log the event, and you will see this. Give me a second. Event.target. That's the way. Okay, so now we're going to put in here the unchanged function, and we're going to call this form handler. Oh, form handler. Okay, like this. Now we're going to assign this form handler to the selection. Yeah, to the selector and to the other input that is the last one for the date. Okay, so let me show how this is working. Let me click edit here. Now, if I type here something, okay, and as you see, I am receiving the name input, okay, and if I click here, the other input is this one. You see it?
Yeah.
Right? So I am receiving the input that is being modified. Okay, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to grab the value of that input. So I mean, we have 2 properties, the value and the name, okay? So we're going to do something here. We're going to create a function, I mean, a variable that is going to represent the property name or input name. It's going to be equal to target, I mean, event.target.name, okay? And then I'm going to create another variable that is going to be called input value. And this is going to be equal to event.target. Oh, I missed the T here. Dot value. Okay, so I am grabbing the value and the target. Okay, let me console both elements. Let me show you console.log. So this is going to be the name, input name, and then I'm going to console log the value. Okay, let's try to see how this is working now. Let me show you. Okay, and as you see, for every time that I'm typing something different in the input, I'm grabbing the property name, and as you see, is the name here and the value. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay, now if I modify this, okay, the name is gender and the value is M. If I modify this one, the name is birth date and the value is this date. You see it? So
Yep.
we're going to use these 2 variables that we have here, and we're going to modify the person edit form. I mean, the person edit object here. So let me show you how we're going to accomplish this. There is a way that we can modify objects doing this. There is something that is called the bracket notation. So we have the name of the property here, and the value of the property is here. Now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to console log. I'm going to console log that person edit object. I'm going to show you. I'm going to refresh this right now. You see, I am modifying the property name here. You see it? Well, in this
Yeah.
case, I'm going to put another name. It will be like, for example, John Wick. So as you see the name, John Wick. Now let's modify the gender is male, and the birth date is this one. So as you see, I have a new object with the information of the form. You see it? So this is going to be accomplished just with one function instead of having three functions. But I wanted to show this in the previous class so you can understand that we need to start grabbing the information from every input, right? So I don't know if this is making sense, but it's like the same operation, but instead of having three functions, I am having one function. I think it's better. This code is going to be cleaner. Okay, it's going to be easier to read. So we're going to have this function that is called the form handler. Okay, now let's continue because we need to have the onSubmit event. So let me create the submit handler. And this is going to be an arrow function too. And here, what I need to do is that I need to know the URL. Now, it's very important, guys, to know that, for example, if I want to hit this URL, you need to create this variable like every time in your code. And there is an option that we can create a .env file to here. So we're going to create it, but we don't want to share this to GitHub. So we're going to add to the git-nor that .env file. Okay, and we're going to create this .env as a global variable. So if you want to use .env here in Vite and in React, every variable needs to have the prefix Vite this way, and then the name that you want to assign. In this case, I'm going to call this base URL. So I can assign this base URL to a global variable this way. So let me show you. I'm going to grab it from here. I'm going to put it here in the .env file. Now, how can I access to this information? The way to access to that information that I have in the .env file is this way. You need to import, no, it's not, you need to create the variable because you need to grab it, right? So I'm going to call this base URL like the way that I have it here. Okay, so I'm going to copy paste this and put it outside of the edit form person component. But instead of leaving this a string, I'm going to use the import meta.env dot the name of the variable. So in this case, the name of the variable is this one. Does this make sense? This is the way that we
Yep.
can access to the variables, okay? And these are environmental variables that we don't want to share this with anyone, guys. So yeah, we're going to have this base URL everywhere from now on. So we can update here this base URL to here, and we can add it to the table of persons. Now, if I render the person route, it still works. You see it? Guys?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And this is from grabbing the information of the .env file. So let's continue. Let's continue. Now, the table of, the edit form that we have here. Let's continue modifying this. Now we're going to do something here. Let me show you. We're going to create a URL. So we have the endpoint, and as you see, is the endpoint person too. So let me create the variable here. Let me show it. So I mean, this is another way you can access to the base URL slash endpoint. Okay. And this is creating the URL that I want to hit in this case. Now we need to create the fetch operation. So in this case, the fetch operation will be save it in a result variable, and this is going to be equal to fetch. And we need to pass the URL and then the options. So this needs to be an asynchronous operation. So we need to set up this way: async and await. The options, guys. We change it as put because we are going to modify the object. And then we need to pass the body. And the body is going to receive this object that we have here. Okay, this one, the edit person object, but we need to use the JSON.stringify. We need to pass the body, and then what else I think is missing here? Oh, the content type. So we have the headers, I think we call this. Yeah, this way. And we put here application slash JSON. Let me remember how I set up this part in our, yeah, content type application JSON. Yeah, it's the same. So now guys, remember this is a promise. So we need to do an awaiting, and then we're receiving this in something that is called the JSON object. So we need to create another variable that is going to be called data. And this is going to be equivalent, another promise. So we need to await the result.json. Okay, now if you want, you can console log the data, because here we have a message, right? Okay, let's see how this is working, guys. Let me show this. Let me see. There are no problems. Okay, there are no problems here. So I'm gonna edit this element, but something is missing here. The base URL, remember, if you want to edit an element, you need to pass the ID as part of the URL too, right? So I missed to add that part here. So how can I access to the parameter that I have in the URL? So there is another hook that is called use params. From React Router DOM too, okay? And what you need to do here is that you need to call this hook, and then you're going to use it here, like this way. And this is going to be equal to use params this way. So this is going to create an object with all the parameters that you have in your route. And you set up the name of the parameter, or I set up the name of the parameter here. And as you see, the name of the parameter is ID person. So that ID person is going to be one property of this element. Okay, so what can I do here is that I can create this variable. It's going to be equal to params.id person. Okay, and then I'm going to pass this ID person as part of the URL that we want to hit. So let me console log the URL so I can show it to you. Okay, let's continue. Let's try this. So I'm gonna refresh this. Okay, I'm gonna put a name here. And as you see, the ID person number one, let's return. As you see, it's Batman, okay? So let me edit him. His name's gonna be right now Bruce Wayne. As you see, I'm having all the modifications here. Let's leave it as male, and then the birthday is gonna be this day. So this is the object that we want to send to the database. Let's hit, oh, let me see if I set up. No, I didn't set up here. Sorry, guys. I need to do it again, but I need to set up the onSubmit event. And this is going to call the submit handler function. Okay, sorry guys, I missed this part. Let me do it again. Let me save the data. Oh, sorry guys, I didn't set up here the event prevent default. Sorry, my mistake. I'm gonna try it again. Okay, so there is a problem here. It says that it's not found this URL. Oh, it's because I have an extra slash. As you see, the slash that I'm trying to hit has an extra slash here. You see it? That's my mistake as a coder. Let me show it to you.
Mm.
I have an
Ah,
extra slash here. Yeah. So I'm going to remove the slash that I added here because the base URL has that slash. Let me show it. Uh, yeah, it has this slash. So I don't need an extra one. Okay, let's try it again. Okay. Okay. So this was the URL that I'm trying to hit. This is the message, updated message. I mean, the updated object, right? Now let's see the table. Oh, the table of persons. Now you see the modification of the name.
Yep.
Yeah, now the name is Bruce Wayne. The gender is still an M, and it's a different birthday. So right now we have accomplished how to edit elements. So let me edit this one. This instead of being Flash, let me call it as let me see, Barry Allen. And he's a male, and the birthday is this one. So the object has been updated. Let's return to the person. So as you see, right now we're learning how to create routes. Okay, we are navigating through the routes using React. It's very similar that, remember when we learned JavaScript vanilla in Pathway 1 and 2, every time that you want to navigate from one file to another, you need to put the name of the file here, right? You remember this?
Yes.
So
yep.
this is very similar. A route is equivalent to having an HTML file where you are having logic and where you are rendering information, okay? So that's what we are accomplishing right now. We are using React Router DOM. Remember, this is a dependency that has been added to the project, and you can see it here, React Router DOM. This is the one that we installed at the beginning of the class, so we can accomplish this navigation between elements, I mean, between components, okay? And we set up that navigation in the app.jsx. We have the route, the index route that's just rendering a home word there. Then we have the route of persons, and then we have how can we edit the person in one form, okay? So let's add another button that is going to help us with the deletion of the element. So let's go to the table of person here. And as we have this button here, we're going to add another button that is going to help us to remove the element. So in this case, we're going to put a different color here. And we're going to have another function that is going to be called const handle delete. As well, we are going to receive the ID of the element that we want to remove from the database. And we need to accomplish the same operation, the fetch operation. So you can create something like, I mean, you can copy paste something like you have it here. Yeah, so here, this needs to be an asynchronous operation. And I think we have, okay, we need to create the URL. This is going to be equal to the base URL plus the endpoint, and then slash the ID of the element that you want to modify. It's this one, right? Okay. Now this is the URL, and the method's going to be delete. And we don't need to pass body and headers. That's the only configuration that we need to do in a deletion. Now, let's get the message that the API is giving us as a result. And remember, we need to create a variable. We call this data always. Remember, this is a promise to. So we need to do an await operation to result.json. Okay, so here we're going to save the message object remove it, something like this. So let's see it. Okay, let me create. Okay, I'm gonna remove Adam Sandler from the database. Oh, sorry guys. This is it's redirecting, so we need to call the handle delete. Sorry, it's handle delete here. So I'm gonna do it again. So this is gonna be remove it, object remove it. Do you see the message, guys?
Yep.
This message could be a notification here too. Okay, that's why um, I have this standard that every time that you are hitting a database in, using a backend, the backend needs to respond with something to the user, because this could be a notification that we can put in here too. Let's see now. Let's refresh the database, guys. I think we need to reload the website. So what we can do here is that, give me a second. Edit on the table of persons. Yeah, we can refresh the website here too. Instead of console login, we are going to window dot refresh. I think this is the way. Dot location. Dot refresh or reload. Okay, let's see. I'm going to remove another element. Okay, now I just have two elements in my table. You see it?
Yes.
Okay, so right now, guys, we learned to modify an element and to remove elements from the tables. What I'm going to do another thing is that once I finish the operation of updating an element, we're going to return to our principal form. So what we can do here is that, for example, form of edit form that I have here, instead of console logging this, what I can do is that, again, we need to import the use navigate. Then we need to create the initialization variable here. Use navigate. And then I need to return to the other route. Let me see. To the route of person. I think this is the route, right? Person, yeah. So let's try this. I'm gonna refresh this. Let's see. I'm going to edit this person, and I'm gonna put again Batman as his name. Male. The birth date is gonna be a different birth date. For example, this one. So as you see, if I click save, I'm returning to the person form. You see it?
Yes.
So yeah, that's the idea, that today this is the way that we can create a CRUD, the CRUD operation using React. As you see, I am getting the data. This is the data that I'm getting. I am posting data using a form, I am editing the data with another form, and I can remove elements with this button. You see it?
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to know, guys, if this is clear, because today, for today, this is the lesson is going to be a stoppage. So this is going to be enough, so you can continue working in this assignment that you have here. The task tracker. No, let me see this. Yeah, the front end for the task tracker. So I'm gonna commit this code. I'm gonna share it with you. But tomorrow I will continue doing another lesson too. I will continue giving another lesson, and the idea is that every day I'm gonna continue advancing in the project, but you can work at the same time, okay? Let me see, where's my repository? I think I need to share it again with you. Let me share it here. So the repository is dropped in our chat, in our chat here in Zoom. So guys, is everything clear? Does this make sense?
I have a question
Yeah, tell me.
about, so like whenever we're doing these projects, like, do you want us to branch off, or is it okay to do everything in the main branch?
It's okay in the main branch, no worries. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the lesson. The lesson has ended, but I'm gonna check Justine code because she shared with me her .env file today. And Justine, are you there? Because maybe we can check if you have an error here that you need to change.
I'm here.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, great. Let's see. I think you passed me the repository, right? Let me check my Slack channel here. Yeah, I have it here. It's this one, right? Great. Okay, so let me see if there is something that I can fix with you. Give me a second. So, think codex backends, yeah. So there is a folder that I need to create MK here. So let me go inside of this folder, and I'm gonna clone the repository here. The task. Oh, dot. Okay, this is your project. I will stop presenting because I need to create the .env file. I don't want to share this with anyone because it has the password of the database. So let me stop presenting. Give me a second. Okay, Justine, this is your project route. Let's see. So in the index file, Justine, I think this have some problems. Let me see what you have here. Okay, great. This is fine. Then the task controller. Yeah, it works. The route. Okay. Okay, the index is the one where you have the problems, okay? Let me show you what you need to do. So here, these two methods that you have here, you are like repeating everything that you have inside of this employee controller and the employee route. So what you need to do is that, let me see, first, the type needs to be model. Yeah, this is fine. So here you are going to import, let's see how you call this task. Okay, let's see. We're going to import task from the task route.js. And then you need to import the, let's see, the other route, you call it employee. From employee routes.js. Now, what you need to set up here is going to be the next app.use, and then you need to put the prefix of your API. My recommendations, this is going to be the prefix API, like this. And you're going to call the task first, and then the employees. And this has to work. But first we need to install the dependencies to try this. I think your backend was having problems. npm install. I forgot to install the dependencies. Now npm run that. No, this is not working. Clear. It's node -- watch index.js. Okay, so it has some errors here. Let's see. There is a problem importing task controller.js, and the problem that you have here is in the task here in the route. So maybe this is not existing. Let's see. Task controller is this one, right? I'm gonna put this side by side.
Is it because of me having controller and not controller with the S? I'm just looking.
Let's see. I'm gonna check this. Okay, so this is the file, the task controller, right? And the name is task controller. Task controller is fine.
The
Get
folder.
task. Okay. Can you repeat, please?
The folder, from
The
if
folder.
I'm looking at it correctly, the folder I have is controllers, but then on the path
Yeah,
it's on.
let me see. I wanna check this. Give me a second. First, I'm gonna try to re-import everything. Import. Let's see. Get. It's not possible to import this. Let's see. From rollers slash. This is super weird. It's not identifying the employee controller.js.
Wouldn't this be the task controller.js?
Sorry, yeah. Yeah. Okay, now let's import the get task the delete task, the post, and the put. Now you have another problem. Now the problem is in the employees controller. So the other problem is here. Yeah, and I see it. The problem is the name of the folder, controllers. You see it? Okay, now, now there is another error. It says that this package is not existing. So my question is, you didn't install this package .env. You need to install it. Okay. To install this package, we need to stop the server npm install .env. So as you see now, a new dependency is added to the project. Okay, now it is running. You see it. Now let's try to hit every endpoint that you have there. I'm gonna use ThunderClan here. You're listening in the port 3000, so it's gonna be, oh, sorry. It's gonna be HTTP slash localhost port 3000 slash API slash employee. I think it's this way, right? Let's see. Yeah, employee. Okay, let me hit send. And there's you just have one employee here, right?
That was the
Okay,
one
let
I
me
inputted
post.
myself.
Okay, let me post someone. Um, okay, the object has been created. If I get the employee, I have two employees now. And I'm going to modify one employee, the ID number to, this case is gonna be codex object updated. If I get the people, okay, the department now is codex. Now I'm going to remove one element. It's gonna be my element. Now we need to change it for the delete method. And if I hit send here, the object has been removed. If I get the people now, yeah, now you just have one person here or one employee. So I'm gonna create another one. I'm gonna recreate me because to this element, I'm going to add another one task, for example. So I'm gonna get the employees and this is the ID number 3. So I'm gonna change the endpoint to the task endpoint. If you get the task, let's see, task. It says you have a problem here. Let's see. Task tracker. Task tracker. Are you sure this is the name of the table? Or it contains an S?
Let me check again. So the tables I have are employee and task with an S. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so there's another error here. It says that a department is not existing. Department. A department does not exist. Oh, the employee, the department employee. So that's the B table. You see? Now, my recommendation, because you are getting the task information, you might need to put some information about the task. For example, the 8 dot, I don't know, what's the name of the, okay, for example, description and status. Well, in this case, yeah. Give me a second. Status. Yeah, now, as you see that the description is clean oven and the status is completed. Task ID, employee ID. Department, I think it's not necessary. I mean, I think let's get the people, I mean, the task again. Yeah, great. Okay, now let's try with the method post. So we need to have an employee ID, description, and then a status. We're going to remove this one. Okay, and format this, the employee ID one. Let me see another task going to be laundry. Created. Object created. If I get task again. See, now this is the second task. I'm going to modify the second task. And the status is going to be completed. Okay, another problem here. Okay, near employee ID. You're missing the comma here. Yeah, I think this is a problem. Let's try it again. Object updated. I get completed. Now I'm gonna remove the second task. Object remove it, and I get the task. There's only one task. So the logic is fine, but you're having some small problems, okay? I don't know if you notice every problem that you have there.
I did see from what you were doing, yeah.
Okay, so the first problem was this one, okay? This is how the index needs to look like. And in the routes, when you were importing the controllers, I think you missed the S here. And here too. That was a problem. And in the task controller, I solved this part, okay? So these are like the three more the three things that I remember. I don't know if there were more, but this is the ones that I remember. So if you want, you can work with this. You need to commit this and then pull the changes in the server. Does this make sense?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, let me know if you need some help. Always, before you commit this code, please try to run this in your computer. I mean, you didn't run it and you didn't notice that there were some problems. I think that's what I'm thinking, but I don't know.
Well, I knew there was some problems because I kept getting errors, so.
Yeah, and it's not a good idea that you can commit something with errors to GitHub and then put it in production. So it's better that you're going to save that into GitHub once everything is solved, okay? Without no errors. That's like a mistake. I mean, it's an advice that I can give you.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Thank you.